Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory 1.2, where we now have fluid trucks, daisy chaining, and a whole whack of new things to muck around with. But our projects and goals remain the same, where we try to take over complete the space elevator project assembly. And as part of this huge project, we need 2,000 diamonds. But good news, we got the coal, but we need more, because we can't just use the default diamond recipe for 2,000 diamonds. The math doesn't really check out. So we need to use this recipe, turbo diamonds with packaged turbo fuel. And we'll be yoinking that turbo fuel from a very specific place in the world, our turbo fuel power plant. However, this one wasn't really designed well, so we're rebuilding it. Like, completely rebuilding it. And better utilize the resources to both make all of the turbo fuel we need, as well as probably some rocket fuel. Then who knows where the adventure will take us.
Harvest.
But first and foremost, diamonds, packaged turbo fuel. We need it. And last time we kind of got started. We took some of the oil that we've been using and we made it into plastic with a 1-to-3 oil to plastic setup, where we took about 100 oil per minute and are making 300 plastic per minute. Today, we need the turbo fuel though, and we have to redo our centerpiece for the factory. I left this in because it's iconic and one of the first big builds we made in this playthrough. But now, with all the new features in the game, I don't know how we're going to redesign it. But no matter what, I want to use the space. And in our great journey here to make turbo fuel, we need lots of machines, so things should work out. So again, canisters will be fine. We have the plastic to make those. Turbo fuel itself can be made in a variety of ways, but we're just gonna be using the basic recipe where we get fuel and compacted coal to make the turbo fuel. And looking at the fuel first, the most efficient way to go about it is to make heavy oil residue, combine it with water, and dilute it into diluted fuel. So step one, a quadrillion refineries using this alternate that takes crude and makes it into heavy oil residue. Which in our grand scheme here is this part, where it looks like all in we need 21.5 refineries. This all looks super complicated because beyond the turbo fuel, yes, we're gonna be making rocket fuel and making a whole other power plant. It's gonna be crazy, one step at a time. And doesn't look like we have the space for it in here. Is there a floor beneath here? Pass Kibs, please. Ooh, there is. Is there another floor? What the heck? What is all this? Oh, this is the abyss. Okay, no. We can go from this floor. Can we get rid of this floor? And is there a floor up above? Oh, this is actually perfect then. There is, okay. So we need compacted coal at some point, so we'll probably have like a bunch of assemblers for that here. And the refinery, so will definitely be just down here. Because if we place them down here, we totally have the space. Yeah, pretty much. Just gotta dig up a little bit of room here. And then past Kibs, my friend, you have blueprints for this, right? You have like a quadrillion blueprints. You gots to. Blueprints, fluids. HOR petroleum, yeah, wait, no. This one is all set up, ready to go, yes? Oil goes in one way, heavy oil residue and polymer resin out the other. Easy peasy. Actually though, I need to redo all my blueprints. We're in Satisfactory 1.2. We have the power of daisy chaining. One of these days I'll go around and I'll update all my blueprints. For now, we need to see if we can fit all of these in here. That's 3, 15, 18, and this will be a half. Whenever there's a half in the numbers, it's just putting this down to like 50% clock speed here. Oh, these are all overclocked. Oh, we don't even need to overclock. Oh, then, we have plenty of space. But I feel like since all of these fit in like perfectly, we should stick with the unoverclocked version, right? Yeah. Copy, paste. Oh, but that reminds me, we have one other pretty major issue. Power shards. Not that we need them. No, quite the opposite. It's, we have too many power shards. Way too many power shards. So we gotta figure out something to do with them a little bit later on. In the meantime, the crude oil is brought up this way. So we'll just bring that to somewhere over there to make the heavy oil residue. And yes, last time I fixed the mistake with the oil pipes. Last time I put it down that I had 900 crude oil here, where I only have 750. Don't worry, problem caught, and everything's chillin'. And you know, initially I was kind of spooked by redoing this entire plant here, but it's been great. Best of all, we have curved belt and straight belt build mode. So going from like a weird like grid to a different weird grid isn't that strange of a transition. Works out great. The pipes go in here, oil scoots over this way, machines are hooked up together, and as I mentioned, daisy chaining. Wow, wow, wow. It's my new favorite thing. I love it. I don't know how I could play the game without it at this point. Ooh, but also fluid dynamics, still a thing at the end of the system. Extra bouffars for each of the pipes. There's no liquid slushing. Nope, we need a reliable stream of heavy oil residue here. And that means constant stream of oil, so we can make tons and tons of fuel. So we're gonna take the heavy oil residue from this building, pipe it on over to here, and we're gonna start setting up all of our blenders. We need about 20 of them to make everything work out. And I feel like if we could fit them here, this would be a good spot for them. Like we'd make the fuel here, which needs to become turbo fuel, right? So we have the fuel go from here. This layer is where we make like turbo fuel and stuff, and off to the races we go. Big question, can we fit all the blenders in here? We'd better. I'm gonna be so inconvenienced, but then I remembered that I actually have a blueprint. Wow, wow. Good job, past Kibitz. Thank you for making blueprints for everything. And also, just a nice kind word to future Kibitz. I'm raising the blenders up a tile. This way we can have the pipe work underneath and we can do cool designs with that. Future Kibs, don't say that past Kibs never did anything for you, buddy. Oh my gosh, and also, is this gonna work out? Holy smokes. Move this over like a tile, so there's a tile in between. We can get them back to back here. There's room over there. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20. Bean phasing through reality. Did you see that? Well, now you can. That's right. We have the exact amount of space for 20 blenders, which is what we need for the project. Certified yippee moment. All this is gonna be great. There's the other byproduct we gotta think about too. The polymer resin, which we end up making with all of the heavy oil residue. What do we do with polymer resin? Well, there's lots we can do, but we are choosing to make more plastic. That is gonna be the play. We can use this plastic to make canisters for the packaged turbo fuel. And for excess polymer resin, we can set up a smart splitter and have the overflow go towards an awesome sink. In fact, we'll almost certainly need an awesome sink for a variety of things in this project. Just everything has to keep moving and grooving or else we could have problems, right? We'll kind of have a dumpster belt over this way. Wait a second. Can this like fit like right here? Ooh, that would look so good. And then we just have this go over to the pit here. Oh, that's sick. Oh yeah, we're doing something like this. But wait a second, you know what wasn't the best idea? This. You know, like 5 seconds ago when I said, oh, past Kibs does this so well for future Kibs. Brr, 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 brr. Well, yeah, this looks great. I'm happy these all fit in here. However, when the blenders are back to back like this, the output is here and the input for the machine beside it is there. So then when I'm connecting all of the pipes together, it's gonna be like a whole song and dance going over here through all of these machines, and it's gonna be a pain in the butt. This is the long and short of it, okay? Not cool. To be fair, I don't think I really could have seen this one coming. And also, you know what? Hey, the outputs don't really matter, because at the end of the day, we can always go down here. We have all the room in the world. And also, you know what? If we bring the pipes over the edge here, things could look pretty cool. Like we bring things over the edge, then we have to go this way, right? We can go underneath these oil pipelines and we can get to our destination, which is just through well number 1. And then water. Water, we can do the same thing. The pipe is right next to it, right? Yeah, right there. And then we'd scoot down here. Perfect. I can work on things to make the heights all nice and pretty. And water-wise, what are the numbers in here? 100 times 17.2. That's what we need for production, 1,720 water per minute. Past Kibs, are those 3 full pipes of water right there? My body is discombobulating with excitement. So okay, I'm pretty confident with the heavy oil residue and the water. So I actually started with the fuel instead. Brought that all down here and piped it over to a corner. we have extra storage, and also we have the fuel way up high. Since the fuel will be higher than a lot of our machines, that way we don't have to pressurize things later down the line. And aesthetically, bud, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Well, you'd better be, because this ain't changing. I love it. The pipes, perfect. The colors, vibrant. And the pipe organization is ever so acceptable. If not insanely chaotic. The pipes are going all over the place. What I forgot to kind of calculate or adjust for was the fact that the pipes would fill up. We have 21.5 refineries here, right? That's 860 fluids per minute, bud, which is more than one pipe. But we have more than enough space, so I could work around it. So the pipes just go over this way, up into some bouffars. Mostly for aesthetic reasons these are here, but also for that water towering effect. The bouffars are higher than the blenders, right? Then the pipes go on down that way and organize themselves over there. Then this is all for the plastic. But the rest of it was all cool. Just goes over this way into the blenders, and we have fuel for days. Or at least all the fuel we're gonna need for the whole project. The full 1,720. And the majority of it, well, that's going for rocket fuel. The 720, which we want, is going for that turbo fuel. But while I was messing around with all this stuff, I was also thinking about that power shard problem, where one of our ideas is to burn power shards to make ionized fuel, just so we can get rid of the power shards. Because fun fact, just like nuclear waste, can't be deleted. You're stuck with power shards, which can be a bit of a headache when you have like 200,000 of them just kind of laying around. But you know what else we have laying around? We actually have 600 SAM just over here in this biome. So we can kind of do whatever we want with this. And because we're in Satisfactory 1.2, you can see the alternate recipes that you don't have unlocked. So these are all the recipes we can see in here, right? But if we look in the search bar for power shard, you can see that there is one thing still chilling. The alien power matrix recipe, which also uses power shards. And with those deluxe purple lunch boxes, we can input them into the alien augmenters to make them 30% more efficient. So we're going to hyper derail, and I think we're actually gonna look into that recipe. Don't worry, we'll come back to the turbo fuel a little bit later. But no, I want the quantum encoder now. Also because it's just a perfect shoe-in fit to go right here. It fits perfectly. We can have that here. We can deal with all of the belts and machines and pipework, what have you, downstairs, just in this empty floor. Beneath here is where we have the heavy oil residue. And just go up into this for some steam and effects. And then the rest of the floor we can use for all of the other items, which are, okay, we need to see. Ma'am, help, alien technology. Oh yeah, there's that as well. This first. And done. Oh, what is it, Ada?
These disposable synthetic mimic artifacts increase power augmenter output by further stabilizing the summer sloop's connection to its energy harvesting location.
Okay.
You grow shrines and engrave silent organs incompatible with the tapestry.
It is a beginning, far from an ending, a step in between.
Harmony.
Heike, I completely forgot that there was like the alien stuff going on in this game. It's been like 500 hours since I've heard a message from them. Crazy. Ooh, also, toilet time? Tell me how to poop, Ada.
SAM-based portable waste network unlocked. A recent breakthrough has meant that Fixit now has a way to reanimate organic waste using deconstructed matter.
Regular exposure to blood flow helps the vessel avoid malfunction.
Wait, did Ada just imply that we're organic waste? No, I misheard, of course, right? Yeah. But now look, porta potty. We're living in the future. My first time seeing it, actually. Wash hands. You can actually wash your hands. Wow. Okay, I'm impressed. I'm very impressed. Good job. Far more important than that, though. We need a porta potty in our project house. So are you ready to behold Project Hoose Plus? I have updated Project Hoose. So now we have the daisy chaining power over this way. And very importantly, when we're inside here, we have our project board. We have our little dumpster over there. But if we go through the back door and down the stairs, potty. And it fits like perfectly behind the door as well. Wow. The beauty of Project Who's Plus. Available now on Patreon. Or you could just make this yourself in your own game. Do whatever, have fun, we're getting back to work. So we want to quickly automate those alien power matrices. They need power shards, which we have an abundance of. They also needed those SAM fluctuator things, right? Yeah, they needed these, which is just a little bit of iron and SAM. Oh, 1 second here, we're gonna die. Not good. Well, actually it doesn't matter. We can just respawn at the toilet nowadays, but inconvenience, right? Anyway, the excited photonic matter is made out of nothing. And then that. The superposition oscillator. That one is a little tricky. We cannot automate that easily at all. It takes dark matter crystals and just way too much stuff, okay? So here's the deal. Since we have a limited amount of power shards, we'll automate the photonic matter really quick. We'll make the SAM fluctuators while we can. Power shards we'll have in a big bin, and then we'll also make a big bin for the superposition oscillators. That will be our plan. So we'll have the main encoder up here, and downstairs is where we can have the other shenanigans going. So power shards, I don't know how many bins we're gonna need. We're gonna need lots though. Let's just try and set up as many as we really can. And then we'll have some more for the superposition oscillators. And with the rest of the floor, we can quickly automate those SAM fluctuators. We have plenty of space for a manufacturer, and making these things is again not too bad. Reanimated SAM, that's just a constructor or two. We have 600 SAM available, so we can overclock these suckers. Each constructor takes 300 SAM each, no problem at all. Put a second one right next door. For the wire, we can actually make that out of iron as well, just using the iron wire alternate. Then the last thing was iron pipes, right? Or sorry, steel pipes, technically speaking. But we don't care about steel pipes. We hardly use that recipe, if at all. We're iron pipe people. Take the iron, make it into steel. Takes a whole whack of iron, but I don't care. I'm not using my coal for nothing but diamonds, baby. But now we don't really have a lot of space for iron ingot production. That's a problem. How much iron do we even have around, in fact? Survey says we have coal, we have, oh my gosh, 1,200 iron per minute? That's a lot, that's a ton of iron, okay. We don't even need this iron for any projects in the future, by the way. Out of all the resources in the world, iron, we are chilling with. So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna bring it down to, I don't know, over here. And then we're just gonna smelt it. Like we have smelter blueprints. Sure, why not? Smelt all the ingots down here, then bring out the sidewall up to our production facility here. That will get us the SAM fluctuators. And from there, I just have to bring over a bunch of material just kind of by hand. Again, the superposition oscillators, which we have kind of automated in our main base. Power shards, that's gonna be a whole trip. And oh yeah, the last thing, the photonic matter. Again, that's made out of literally nothing, but we do need power and a machine. But I gotta had this idea a little while ago where we could have a converter right back here. It's perfect. That will make all of the excited photonic matter. It looks cool, it fits, and so it sits. And man, once it's activated, so cool. Love it. And the whole system is good to go too. So did a little bit of light decoration, just adding in a few details. The recipe is set, ready to go, and automation downstairs, easy peasy. So just a few machines are back here making some of the fluctuators. Bins are set up, and we got lots of bins. We should be good to go on all that. And you know what? Since we are here, let's just get some loops, and we'll let her rip, bud. And besides that, everything else is set up and ready to go here. I'm not gonna transport the items just yet though, because I don't know if this is actually the final design, and I don't wanna move like 200,000 power shards and have to move them again. That would not be cool. We'll leave that be for now. I had a really cool idea with what to do with the fish tank over here. So now that we have a couple items moving and grooving, like all of the schmeltas down there, the SAM and the other stuff scooting over this way, I had a great idea for what to do inside of here. Before, we had alien power augmenters in here. We had 3 of them in order to get our power grid started. It's also what the turboplex was initially for as well. But now we're way past that. However, the fish tank here can still store things. In fact, it can store the ionized fuel in giant fuel storage towers. These are another blueprint I made a long time ago, and we can have these sitting in here and keep the ionized fuel stored here as kind of like a backup battery in itself. So if the power grid ever did explode, we'd have the alien power matrices and the ionized fuel power to kind of kickstart all of our systems. Oh, but it clips through the ceiling there. Oh gosh, does that look good? Oh my gosh, it's almost as if it's by design. It's beautiful. Adds a little bit of detail up there from afar. Towers look great. Once we had some ionized gas like stored in there and the glowing pipes are all over the place, that'll look even better. And what's even more nice is now that we have like the guts of the building filled out, like we have the SAM fluctuator production being done inside, we have all the refineries, like we know what's going on here, and I can work on a proper aesthetic design for the exterior. Mostly something to cover this sidewall. But you know, I already have the idea for it. And the solution comes from our Starforge project, where we have the legs that are on an angle. And I feel like an angled pillar design would be the perfect thing to fill out the space along here. And after long last, the new redesigned fish tank is in place. It was absolutely the right call. It's just a string of inspired thoughts that finally brought this build together. And with a little bit of painting as well and some redistributing of towers, it looks so good. I love it, absolutely love it. Got some pipes on the front for the main fuels we're gonna be working with as well. The turbo fuel, rocket fuel, and ionized fuel. So there's like a visual indicator on the front of the build too. And then for the supports, they actually support a new walkway that's built inside of the fish tank. So there's like a sub walkway that goes along that way where you can check on the main towers. And then this upper walkway that kind of looks over the rest of the factory, or at least where there will be a factory, okay? This fish tank has been taking up way too much of my cognitive RAM, and now that it's out of the way, we're free. Free to work on turbo fuel. But super quick, if you're curious on how to make the angled walls, oh, there's cross beams. To make angled walls, there's a lot of ways to go about it. Usually, I like to have like a beam on like a diagonal here. You look at the diagonals in meters there just to make sure you have the right like angle. And then you can build off of that. And you can build even crazier and crazier things from there. Ooh, and that's a little cool thing is inside here, we're gonna have some control switches for the rocketplex itself, the rocket power plants, then the ionized power plants. The ionized power plants aren't gonna be running 24/7, so we'll probably actually use this quite a bit. And this stuff, looks cool. But I digress. Back to work. We wanted turbo fuel, the packaged turbo fuel for our diamonds. Well, good and bad news. Good news, we have the fuel. Bad news is I used all the space inside of here for other projects, but we still need to make all of the compacted coal. So what I'm thinking is we'll have kind of an indoor production facility just over this way, and we'll stuff in the last machines we need, which includes a couple constructors here, just to turn those plastic bits into the canisters. Again, the turbo fuel has to be packaged. It has to be packaged. Why does it have to be packaged? I don't know, that's just the recipe. You have to have it packaged, which is kind of annoying because it's like, hey, why don't you just put the coal in and then have like the turbo fuel going through the pipe right over there? But you know what? You have to have the packages. Anyway, I digress. We have to make the compacted coal. And then the other machines we still have to build are blenders. Lots of blenders and of course refineries, but I don't want to think about refineries today, to be honest. No, we're going to focus on these three. And let's start with the blenders. Blenders are the most aesthetically pleasing in my opinion. So we'll set them up over here. And then with those blenders there, we can leave a little bit of space in the middle for both some pipe and belt work and also just personal scooting space. You know, it's nice to have a walkway through our factories and all that jazz. Then for the assemblers, we just need a couple of those, and we have blueprints out the wazoo, so we'll just use one of our existing ones that are all set up nicely. Then at the end of the day, we'll have the constructors down here. Wait a second though. Do you know what machine we're missing here? Oh my goodness, I forgot the most important thing. The machine that fills the canisters. The packagers. Oh yeah. Okay, how many of these do, oh no. Each packager only deals with 20 turbo fuel. Fully overclocked, 50? 600 divided by 50 is 12? Okay, that's not good. One of the things I'm keeping in the back of my head is that we need to have a lot of space for fuel generators. We're gonna need like 140 of them or something, and they are huge. So with space considerations in mind, I think our only option is to raise these up. This stuff gotta be chilling. Oh wait, it's a call from Future Kibs. One moment. Okay, that call from Future Kibs has told me that this is the right play. He even left me a gift. Using the Mark III blueprint maker and daisy chaining. Oh, bud. Doesn't this look cool? Look at all the red. It adds so much more color into the build. So all the belt work dealt with underneath, and all of the inputs are done up top. And we'll just angle those, I don't know, like up here? Yeah, something like this. And I feel like that is practically the whole design. Then I just have to package it. Package it in a cool looking design. And you know what? This is kind of crazy, but I was just setting things up as a diorama, but the diorama, it kind of worked out. It looks kind of cool, eh? This is all the machines like properly built in here, and it's a neat like structure. I don't think we really need to put this in like a giant box. I think I'm gonna leave a lot of it exposed. In fact, I'm clipping a little bit, and I'm having a lot of the Blender stuff exposed as well. So I use like these roofs just with the chrome finish, and I just angled them inside of the blenders. Then I built up some walls and stuff so that most of the belts are inside, but the blenders are outside. I think that looks great. From inside though, all of the pipe and belt work is handled. It clips a little bit, but then I had to get a walkway through, right? So it's okay, it's fine. It's fine, Smile. The byproduct, which I almost forgot about, that will end up going over this way, out of the machine. Inputs go out and through the top. And then, okay, look, there is some relatively egregious clipping. I just needed a belt to be here, okay? So pretend that this small metal pillar is like a belt pipe. It's thematic. It's not totally clipping, it's thematic stylization. Yes, quite. But then for the most part, all of the items will run from left to right, except for the fluids, and the fluids will just run in through this little box over here. We'll organize the pipes and get everything kind of figured out. But then we just hide all the crazy pipe work in a box and we don't think about it ever again, okay? Mostly because it ruins the overall aesthetic of this factory, which is really, really cool. I am so happy with it. It's like a blend of just a normal like boxed in factory, but then with the exposed machines, it just adds in so much more. And there's the color, there's the different angles with the roofs, the blenders poking out, and then there's even like the movement with the fans and the coal generator. And okay, real talk, this was actually a stroke of genius adding in the coal generator here, because we're making all this compacted coal, right? And the compacted coal can be a byproduct. So I was like, oh hey, we have to get rid of this stuff. So I just threw it into a bunch of coal generators all over the place. So over this way, the main belt for compacted coal, once it's made, goes into a smart splitter. The main output will go towards turbo fuel production, and then the overflow goes over there and towards all of the coal generators. So we have the one there, and then I put a couple on the roof over here. Look at the smokestacks. Just when you thought I was done cooking, I cook even more. Might have burnt the food, but you know what? I don't think so. I think this turned out amazing. Look at that. You got the stuff in the roof, you got the smokestacks, you got the quantum encoder in there. Oh, I'm such a big fan. And yeah, honestly, this has just been an inspired day. I even love this factory as well. It's way more simple, but it feels like it fits just so well. And then most importantly, like on the grand scheme of things, a lot of this space is just gonna be fuel generators and refineries everywhere. So like that little factory off in the corner just adds like a little bit of, I don't know, a different vibe, especially with the red and the gray on the roof there. Oh, just perfect, perfect. Such a big fan. And man, at this point, I'm just so excited to see how like the finished product turns out. However, I gotta call it here for now. We have hundreds of fuel generators and refineries to build. There's the decorating to still do. And even just transporting like the 200,000 power shards from A to B is gonna take probably like half an hour at least. But that's fine. I'm having so much fun with this project. It's been a blast. And if you've been enjoying, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more. But until next time, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.